Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Casey Dimon, the founder of the Tax Sale Academy, and I am your guide to navigating the world of tax deed and tax lien investing. Today, we're diving deep into a very important topic that can really take your tax sale business to the next level. I'm talking about something that a lot of people overlook, and that's analyzing past tax sale auctions. You can learn quite a bit of information from them, and you can use them to determine which markets you should start investing in next. Now, today I'm going to teach you how exactly to leverage this data. This is very, very important when it comes to researching new markets. The process will provide you with everything that you need to avoid wasting hours and hours or even days researching properties in the wrong market. So history, obviously, is one of the best teachers that we have, especially when it comes to the tax sale business. But a lot of people overlook it. By studying the previous auction, we can identify patterns, trends, and mistakes that will help you fine-tune your entire strategy to help you determine which market you want to invest in and which market is going to be a massive waste of time. Think about it this way. If you knew which types of properties consistently sold for below market value, wouldn't you want to know why? Or if you saw properties with certain characteristics get bid way up, wouldn't that affect your approach a little bit? What about maybe you found an area that had an extremely high number of bidders and it was ultra competitive? You probably wanted to avoid that area, right? Or maybe you found an area where there are only 2, 3 bidders. You probably want to attend those auctions. Obviously, all these can really move your business to the next level when you use this data correctly. Now let's dive into a little deeper. Let's get more granular. When you analyze past tax sale auction results, there are several areas that you can focus on. The opening bid amounts compared to the sales prices. Compare these two things. Are properties going for numbers that are fairly close to the opening bid amounts, which usually indicates limited competition? Or are they selling for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars more than the opening bid, which could indicate high competitions? How many bids are placed on each property? And if you have access to the information, how many different bidders were bidding on those same properties? If you have every property and there's 30, 40, 50 people bidding on every single property, that's a high competition area you want to avoid. The second one is the sales price compared to the actual market value. So take a sample of properties and run a quick ballpark valuation. Now, look at the difference between the final sales price and the market value. Is there margin in those prices? Or is it an area, regardless of how many people are bidding, is it an area where every property seems to sell right at market value? If so, you probably want to avoid those areas. Next thing you can look at is property types and perhaps even trends. Identify which properties, whether it's vacant land, single family homes, or maybe commercial properties, are most popular in those areas and why. Is there a particular trend there, good or bad? Maybe there's land that you don't think has a whole lot of value that everybody seems to buy. Or maybe there's land there that nobody is bidding on. These are things you can dig into deeper. Look at the volume and the frequency of auctions and the properties on that list. When you look at a tax sale list from the previous auction, is there only 1 or 2 properties that have been sold? If so, you might not want to waste your time there. Likewise, do they only hold a tax sale auction once every 5 years? If so, you might want to skip that area. But maybe they have 40, 50 properties and you're realizing these are pretty good deals. That's something you want to add to your list to check out even more. Also, look into the bidders. Are there certain bidders who seem to win most of the properties? What kinds of properties are they going after? Is it perhaps a local shark? If so, find out what their name is. Figure out what their strategy is in that area to see if you can learn from what they are doing in that local market. If you do all this, you can really kind of start to see the bigger picture and understand the different dynamics at play in all of these different markets that we're researching. So how do you actually analyze all this information, right? You've got all this information. How do you take it to the next level? Well, you can access public records and auction websites. So you start off by visiting county websites, public records, and tax sale auction platforms. Most of them will keep some sort of records of the past auctions available online. A lot of states actually have that requirement that the past auction results are public record. So if you can't find it online, then simply call the county. If they can't provide it to you or they won't provide it to you, You can go to the official records, search county records near that time to find tax deeds that were recently recorded. And then take that information and use it to search for other tax deeds. It takes a little bit more time, but it is a great way to come up with all the properties that have sold and what they sold for. From there, compile the data, right? Get as much information as you can. The sales prices, the bidder numbers, the names if you have it, the property types, all that information. Use spreadsheets or maybe even Google Sheets if you don't have access to Microsoft Excel, and start organizing this information. Or just write it on a piece of paper if you want a quick way of doing it. And then from there, look for patterns. Is every single property selling at or above market value? That's not a good sign. Or maybe a lot of properties are selling at or above market value except for the quarter-acre vacant lots or the properties in this section of town or the properties in that section of town. See what kind of trends, what kind of patterns you can discover just by analyzing this data. And from there, of course, you're going to adjust your strategy. At this point, you have reviewed all this information. You have analyzed all this information. It's just a matter of saying, hey, do I really want to invest in that area? Or is it an area that I probably want to skip? By doing this exercise, you will quickly be able to dial in which market you should or should not be spending your time researching. Remember here, the goal is to learn from previous auctions to make more informed decisions moving forward to determine where you should be investing. You'd be very surprised how much insight you can gain from even just a small amount of data when it comes to looking at previous auction results. My suggestion is to make this part of your regular routine. That way, you always have the next market that you can go to and start cherry picking the most profitable properties from. Let me give you a real life example here. I was recently reviewing auction results from a county that I have actually never invested in. I noticed a specific type of lot. They were small vacant lots. I think they were like 0.15 acres. That were literally in the middle of nowhere. And they were rarely selling for much more than the opening bid if they got any bids at all. I did some digging and I realized that most investors don't want these properties because they were not buildable. They did not meet the county requirement of 1/4 acre in order to be buildable. So a lot of people discounted those lots. Then I started digging into it a little bit more, and I realized a lot of these properties were 2 lots side by side. And if you had 2 lots side by side, you would have 0.3 acres, which would then make it buildable per the county requirements. So of course, I skipped all the properties that were single lots, and I placed bids on every single property that was a double lot. And I snagged nearly every single one of them. I think all but one of them. Ended up making a few grand on every single one of those properties. A phenomenal auction for me. It did very, very well. And again, that was simply me taking the time to review previous auction results as I scouted out new areas. Listen, analyzing your past tax sale auction results is a very, very valuable exercise that every tax sale investor should be doing. Look for trends, understand the market, study the competition, and most importantly, use this to refine your strategy and to help you determine which market areas you need to go to next. People always want to tell me, I can't find a good market. And then I ask them, how many previous auction results have you actually analyzed? Because if you start doing this on a regular basis, you have a whole list of good markets that you can then start investing in. If you are not learning from the past, you're leaving money on the table. Guys, that is it for today. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more information, more training. It's completely free on tax sale investing. If you're serious about taking your tax sale investments to the next level, make sure you check out all links in the description for more resources and our step-by-step training academy at taxsaleacademy.com. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time right here on the Tax Sale Podcast. Bye-bye.